Hey everyone, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Brave Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm so excited to bring you another special guest all the way from Scotland. Ceza is here with me. How are you, Ceza?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here. And so I just want to remind everyone what this show's all about. I am Jena Rodriguez, your host. I'm your business and brave strategist, helping coaches and consultants specifically really up-level their game and monetize their business. I love profit enhancement conversations because I know what money can do for us in the long run and really change the world and change our lives. So that's what I'm all about. And this show is all about the brave. It's all about the story and the kind of getting under the hood of what my guests have gone through to get to where they are and to really show you that if they can do it, you can do it too. So we're going to talk about Ceza's story. So please introduce yourself. I'm so excited to have you here. Tell everybody a little more about your brilliance.
I'm really excited to be here. So thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
So I'm a fitness and energy coach. And what I do is I work primarily with women to enable them to be confident, to be healthy and fit, and to live the life that they want. And I do this in two ways. One is as an EAM mentor, which is the energy alignment method. And I'm one of the founding 16 EAM mentors worldwide. And I also do it using fitness. So things like Pilates and Burlexercise so that you feel confident and see in your body. So it's a whole body and mind.
Yes. I mean, we've got to bring it all together. And I think what's powerful about having you on the show when we're talking to entrepreneurs, even more so, is that if we don't have our body and our health for that matter, then we don't have a business, really. We have a job that's wearing us out into burnout. So, right? So it's great. And it's a perfect conversation. I think people really need to, take note of what you do and how you do it and certainly incorporate it into their day. I know I woke up this morning and got my treadmill on. I did the treadmill today, but just got the body moving. And I think that along with my mindset exercises and getting my energy straight for me to serve the day is really big. So how did you get here? Like, I know your journey is very, like mine, it's very broad. So we'd love to kind of dive into that right now.
Okay, so, well, I guess my journey started at uni. I did engineering at uni, which is very different to what I do right now.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2007, so when the recession was starting. And then I spent 6 years applying to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of engineering jobs and just either getting rejected or not hearing anything back. And at the time I was temping like in administration work in the in our healthcare system, and it was really boring. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
So it's a stressful time for me because I was looking and applying for engineering work. I was doing a job I hated. I just wasn't happy.
Right.
And so in 2011, I got the opportunity to go to Spain to do an internship. And I thought, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to go get some experience, get the engineering work. It's going to be great. And it wasn't.
It was a nightmare. Oh, man.
The internship itself was good, but it wasn't technical enough. And it wasn't really serving me. Also, my gran died that year, so that was pretty bad. And it was just, when that finished, I didn't want to come back. So I didn't want to go back to London. The thought of going back and doing what I was doing before was just like dread. And so December, I didn't talk about this much, but I think it's important. So in December 2011, I went to Zara at shopping. So it was a department store. And from the fourth floor, you could look down onto the bottom floor. I was just standing there waiting for a friend to try on clothes. And I just remember looking down and thinking, if I fell, I would be free from where I am right now, which scared me. Like, I never thought, because I've always been positive and optimistic, I never thought I would have that thought. That just completely scared me, and I thought, okay, I need to change my life.
Got
So I moved back to London.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I said, I bet you're not alone in just really wanting things to be different. And sometimes it looks really like doom and gloom, you know, and I can imagine how scary that was to like have your own reality check, right?
Exactly. To go, oh my God, I hate my situation that much.
That's scary.
It makes you think, okay, what is it that I want to be doing?
Right.
And what I wanted to always do was do acting. So I moved back to London. I enrolled in an acting course. So I did that for a year, and that was really great. And during that time, I got into Pilates, did my Pilates training, became instructor just to help things. And randomly, I don't know really how the energy alignment method came into my life. But it just randomly did.
Wow.
I did like a freebie, and then from there I did the 6-month course and the mentor training, and everything just snowballed.
Wow. Yeah, and here you are. Like, and so how do you feel in contrast from getting your brave on? Like, really, obviously, I think it was brave for you to even stand on that edge of the railing and go, wow, I need to like look at this, you know? But how did you it's like, what does it feel like now to be what, you know, to be what you're to do what you're doing, right? And helping people this way.
I love what I do, and I love the difference that I see in my clients. Like, you know, physically or mentally, it's really rewarding, and how I feel in myself is so different. When I think back to that time, I was just like, I don't know, I was miserable and just dread of having to keep looking for work and just getting another rejection, and you don't realize what a toll it's having on you.
Right.
And now I feel a lot more free. And I can actually make a difference.
I love that. And I think the reason I'm asking is because I think people stay too long sometimes in something that doesn't serve them, trying to force it to work, trying to make it happen. And not really, it's like, I don't know if you had this going on, but I can hear a lot of people be like, well, I should do this. I just got a degree, or I spent all this money and I should do this and all that. And then it's really not aligned with what you're up to and what you're supposed to be doing, you know, and I know it's hard. I've been there. So I'm like, corporate America is where I came from too. And, you know, and not being really, you know, like brave enough at the beginning of all this to jump into something on my own. And then once I did, I was like, okay, now I can figure this out. Right. So yeah, so congratulations on that. I'm so glad you, you know, stayed the course and found your calling for that matter. And I just really encourage people to really listen to themselves, you know, to make sure that they're stepping into that as well. So tell us a little bit more about, number one, you know, it's like you've been in this game now with helping people and supporting women in this way. And so what has been one of the bravest things you've had to overcome? Obviously, as a business owner and an entrepreneur, and, you know, like jumping in, you're, you know, moving from engineer over to this world. What is the bravest thing you've had to really face or overcome?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, just add them up, right?
Yeah, exactly. How many things are there?
Yeah.
I guess when I started my business, I was still living in London. So I built it up and made it quite, I made it successful. I was doing really well. And then I moved to Scotland, was for an ex, but I moved to Scotland. So it meant having to start from scratch, which was actually, I didn't actually at the time really think about, oh, this is a big risk I'm taking. Yeah. But now I think about it, I'm like, oh, actually, starting from scratch in a city where you don't know anyone is pretty hard.
Right?
Yeah. So
what did you do to overcome that? Meaning, how did you build it?
I basically did a lot of research online of like what other people in similar job roles were doing. like
okay.
with the fitness and with the mentoring. What else did I do? I just did what I did in London and went out and spoke to people. I went to networking events. I could meet people. With the fitness, for example, I went to sports centers and I said, do you need a Pilates instructor? I'm here.
Yeah, I've arrived.
Yeah. Basically, and then stuff online, like getting exposure, getting people to know I exist, which is actually quite hard because if they don't know you're there, they're not going to come to you.
Right.
And just going out and mingling and chatting and getting to know other people.
Yeah, networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not naturally, I guess, a chatty person, so that's a challenge in itself, but
Yeah, there you go. I know I'm much more reserved than probably people think. Now I've cracked that open. I'm like, I got to build my business, so let's get over that. But, so now it's a lot easier, but I was one of the shyest kids you'd ever know, right? So had to break through that as well. But I love that you share that because number one, it actually speaks to exactly what I tell entrepreneurs to do, which is go get visible and go get in person, whether you network or speak or something like belly to belly, especially if you move into a new market or you're just really trying to ramp it up quickly and be online at the same time, like get face to face with people. So that's awesome to hear that because I think people they're making it too hard. They're making it harder than it needs to be. And I love that you said, it's like, I look back and go, oh, maybe I should have thought that was risky. And we don't know what we don't know sometimes. And so thank goodness for that. But I would gather that even if you thought of that as a risk, I think it's the mindset called do it anyway and figure it out, right? That is the brave master. Here you are. Yeah, I love that. How does acting play into your world? Is that just something you do on the side or for fun, or how does that play?
To be honest, I haven't done it much since I moved to Scotland.
Got it.
Mainly because London's a lot easier. There's a lot more jobs.
Yeah.
I had an agent down there. And when I moved up, he was like, well, we don't really represent Scotland. So
okay, got it.
Find someone else.
Yeah. So when you get back to London, but I think that's great too. I think it's a testament to doing things you enjoy, and whether it plays, I'm an artist, here's my painting on the wall. But I do it when I have time or when I feel like the need to be creative and kind of an outlet. And I think it's important to explore that part of ourselves, even if it may not be the right timing or the right location or something like that. It's great to hear that you play in that arena as well. So all of it's brave. All of it's like really getting yourself out there and putting yourself in front of people to get the result. And so if you look at, like obviously starting over and getting yourself out there and making it, it's like, I don't know if this is true for you, but what I heard is that it's almost like you just did it, and despite the fear and despite anything uncomfortable, or even in the space of like, I can't fail if I try, right? If I just give it my best, like what can come from it versus like, oh my gosh, I may fall down. So I don't know if that's true for you. Can you speak to that a little bit of just kind of like the thinking that you had around starting over?
I guess it's that whole just do it, because I'm in a new city, not earning anything.
Yeah, hurry up.
I need to be earning something. And I don't want to do a regular like 9-to-5 job. That doesn't appeal to me. I don't want to do that. So that was like the main push of, okay. And there was also the thought, I've done this once, I can do it again.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's a bit harder because I don't know anyone up here, whereas in London I grew up there, so I know people. But it's the same thing. You just go out, you meet people, you just do it, even if you don't want to do it. Or, so I think it was just to go out and do that. And also I moved up for an ex, and then we broke up, so I was even more stuck there was that whole breakup of, okay, I'm going to make my business succeed because I hate him, so let me go out and have a
I'm done with that.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah. You know, I call this finding your necessity. Whatever the necessity is, if it's like to show somebody like I can do this, or I need money, I need cash flow, I got to go do something about it. But I think the rub is when maybe you reach a point where you're a little more comfortable, is like, how do you keep the necessity in front of you, or the push, right, and the pull, in order to like get out there and do things that are really brave and sometimes scary. And I don't know if you've come up against that yet, but because I'm always finding my necessity. I'm like, I've been in this game for 12 years, and it's like you just find the next necessity. So what's your next necessity, I guess, is the question.
My next necessity. I have I'm looking over there. I've got a piece of like a flip chart paper on my wall with everything that I want from my life.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah. It's the lifestyle I want. Like, you know, the house I want, I want to have a life where I can enjoy my life and have fun and do things and go on holiday, the kind of work and business I want to do, the difference I want to make in people's lives. And I've been very specific. I'm not going to show you, it's a lot there. Very specific, and that's what keeps me going. And then I've done that for the next like 6 months. But every 6 months, I'll just, you know, check what is it that I want? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? How do I want my life to be? Yeah. And that's kind of what keeps pushing me.
I love it. Right. That was actually the perfect answer. Not that I was looking for a perfect answer, you know, but I hear this when I work with clients and stuff, is like, you've got to continue to put something in front of you. I just heard somebody say yesterday that, actually, I think it was my coach. I have coaches too, and mentors, because I think we must have them in order to grow. And she was saying something like, you know, set your goal. Like, you have a list, right? I do too. I've got a list, and then it's almost at this given moment, you see the list, but then make the next list now. Like, look at that list and go, okay, this is my goal. So when I get to it and check it off, what is going to be my goal after that, you know? And because if you don't have, that's, I think Tony Robbins speaks to this, it's the difference between, you know, art of it, like the achievement versus the art of fulfillment. And so once you hit a goal, you no longer, it's like you're done, like you don't have anything else listed, then you're somewhat kind of like dead in the water. It's like, okay, I've arrived, now what, you know? And so I love that you answered, you know, it's like we each individually have to find, sometimes the necessity is survival, like got to pay the bills, got to get the food on the table or whatever. And I've had that part in my life, and make sure the mortgage is paid and all those good things. But now my necessity is way more bigger, you know, a bigger vision, bigger lifestyle. You know, it's kind of like I've proven I can get to this point. Now, how do I get to that next level? But the exercise of actually putting what's after that, I was like, wow, I heard that yesterday and I was like, huh, I haven't even thought about that. Like, cause I'm very goal driven. Something to offer you, but, and everyone watching. So yeah, make a new list. So very good. So in closing, I know that, you know, I think you're just such a testament to, you know, sometimes we start out in a journey or a path that is expected, or we planned, or we thought that's what we wanted. And then it has a different turn, and we have to be brave enough to like be willing to pivot and be willing to like, maybe this isn't what I was signed up for, and I need to try something else, and let the breadcrumbs kind of fall in front of me, and then follow those breadcrumbs. And then now here you are doing something you love, and doing something that you really are passionate about and clearly talented at. And if we don't listen to those little whispers, or sometimes the big 2x4s come in and, you know, say, hey, we need a wake up call here, which you had. I just feel like people really need to hear that. I think, you know, we're not alone in this conversation. And, you know, and it's like when you ignore that, you only end up farther down the road that you don't want to be. And I always say, like, do what's necessary, or take the small steps even towards what you really want versus what you don't want, because eventually you'll get there, and you'll have the check off on the list, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with that, because I see a lot of people who are stuck in a job they hate, or a lifestyle they hate, but they're not ready, or they're not willing to take that risk. When I started my business, I was still working full time, and then I went down to part time. And yeah, you do get through that difficult bit of steady income to not steady income, but at some point you need to let go of one to then achieve your goals, and either you go after what you want or you stay stuck.
That's right.
And that's scary. That's a scary time, but you got to make that decision. So yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Well, thank you for being a brave master and making that decision, because now you light up when you talk about what you do. So I love it. And I'm glad you're here doing that. And so, excuse me. So share with us what is the best way for people watching or listening to connect with you and really learn more about the fitness and the energy and all of the services that you provide.
So the best way to connect, I've got my website, which is www.ceza.co.uk, and Ceza, C-E-Z-A. Or they can connect with me on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Ceza Health Wellbeing.
Perfect.
And I'm just thinking where else. I'm all over the place.
You're on all social media. I'm sure they can find you if they search for your beautiful name. So
yeah,
and we'll put some of the links in the show notes so that they can easily find it too. So yeah, and then I know you had. I love this idea of visualization, and so something you had that you were going to gift them. What was that, or what? How do they get
there? A meditation freebie, which is. I think I might have frozen.
You're good.
Yes, I have a freebie on offer, which is realizing your goals meditation. So it's a short, 16-minute meditation, just to help relax your body, get into your body and really find that inner wisdom, to find out what your inner goals are and be ready to take steps and go out there and achieve them. So
I love it. Yeah, and do exactly what you've done. I mean, come on. So, and I think what was the link that we created so that they could get there?
bit.ly/brave podcast.
Yes. So we made a special one just for you listeners, and we'll put it in the show notes as well, because we want to make sure that you get that free gift. So thank you for that. I think it's beautiful. I love visualization. I think meditation and just getting quiet. Then you can really hear what you're meant to do, or what really is true for you. So I am in practice. I'm not perfect at it by any means, but I do highly recommend it. So I thank you for that gift. And so in closing, I always like to kind of wrap things up with a nice little bow and ask you a question. If this was your very last interview, this was it, and you had to share a message with those listening and the world at large, what would that message be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, right?
I guess it would be happy. Go out and do things that make you happy, because there's a lot of things that make you miserable in this world. So do a job you love, spend time with friends and family, have fun. Don't worry about, we all have bills and money issues, but don't worry about every negative. Focus on the positive and really enjoy your life and really be happy, because that's what's important. It
sure is. It so is. And be happy. I love that message. I think it's brilliant. And it always is perfect for those that need to hear it. So thank you so much for being here. It was really beautiful to meet you. And a shout out to Jennifer, our friend that referred you, Jennifer Hardy. And I just really appreciate you. And I can't wait to learn more and just be in your world. So thanks for being here. And until next time, let's get our brave on. So
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone.